Good Tuesday morning. Very good. Very good. 24 listings on Monday. That's what I did. I got back to work, got the listings up, and guess how many sales I had? Crickets. One. And it was an offer I accepted. I had it for $69.99. I sent out a $60 offer to move it because it's kind of bulky and I wanted to get it out of here. I paid $2.50 for it, but I bought another item that didn't work perfectly, so I used all $5 that I spent at that yard sale on this one item. They counted at $50, and I sold it. And I'll be back with that after I talk about a couple other things. First, somebody asked me, and when I get questions, I'm going to always respond, but now I'm going to show it. Show and tell time, since I only had one sale. They asked me how I test my video games that I buy, and I'm going to show you. All right, now the room's a little bit cluttered because I'm clearing up what I bought in the last couple of weeks, getting it listed. So, first of all, this is how I test it because I own almost every common console there is. Dreamcast, N64, Saturn, Xbox 360, PS3, Super Nintendo. There's a Sega Genesis. There is a PS2, but I got it in the dining room testing games that I bought this weekend. GameCube, and then the original Nintendo. And then back here, I have a bunch of handhelds. Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Colors, PSP, etc., etc. So, yeah, I can test games because when I buy them, I know if I have the system to test them. And I also have a Wii and a PS5 my PS5 and my Switch are in my living room, and my Wii is right here. Then I have this N64, even though I have one right here. I used this one yesterday to test on this TV I picked up recently. The one I got in Chickasha this weekend, if you've been watching me, did not work. Another story, another lesson learned. I don't always test everything, and I used to always really look at clothes closely, but I still catch myself occasionally not looking deeply when I'm running to get from place to place, and that's on me. I know many have done it, but I should have tested it. I only paid $20 for it, so it's not that big a deal, and I didn't really need another TV. I debated it before I bought it, but it did not work, so it went out to Big Trash, and they picked it up this morning. So, yeah, I'm not buying any more TVs. Or am I? No. I don't need any more. I got 7 of them little TVs in here. The old school, plus the flat screens up on the wall. And yeah. The second question I got was along the lines of why do I list so many a day? Well, I have a saying: if you buy it, you need to list it. When I had over 7,500 items on eBay when I was a full-time reseller before I took my Social Security, I I had a pretty good opportunity or death pile, whichever you want to call it, money pile, and most of that was in the garage in one area. And when I decided to sell my inventory, it took 7 yard sales to liquidate. And luckily on the last one, because I would have had to have probably 2 or 3 more, on the last one, somebody offered to buy the rest of my inventory for a few $1,000s, and I did it, mainly just to get it out of here. But on the first one was primarily my death or opportunity pile in the garage, and I made like $3,700 that weekend. So when you buy stuff and it ends up in those piles, whatever you want to call it, you bought it for a reason, knowing that it had some kind of value when you bought it. Either you comped it or you knew it had value. So don't let that stuff sit, because it isn't making you money if it's not listed. And so there you go. Now, the other area I get in trouble with when I buy a bunch of stuff, I tend to list the easy stuff first. Now, I list on my iPhone, and I can list anything in less than a minute. And I'm going to show you a couple examples of how I do that on a couple of items. But you always list the easy stuff, the little the little things, little trinkets and video games and CDs and DVDs and ball caps and things like that, because they're quick and easy. Clothing is kind of tedious, and although I do list it, you got to move it around and shift it and do the measurements and all that stuff. And again, I'll do it, and I can do it fairly quickly with my iPhone, but it's the one I hate listing, okay? And so there you go. Now I'm going to go show you. Okay, so the first item I have is a ball cap. One of my favorite things to list because it's easy and quick and they sell. I have a Pier 1 glass head, and I always suggest getting either one of the rubber heads or the glass heads because they're heavy, and when you get the styrofoam ones, if you're going to list a lot of ball caps, they fall over a lot. They're not real fun to play with, but I found this pretty cheap at a yard sale, and it's actually worth some money. Pier 1 imports, they don't exist anymore. So anyway, when I take a picture, I start out with it in the front, and then I'll snap a picture, and then I turn it to the side, and I snap another picture, and then I do it again. And I have a Lazy Susan that I sometimes put in here when I have a bunch of hats to make it spin so I don't have to do what I'm doing. There's a Pier 1 thing. And then this side again, and then I take it off, I lay it down flat, I take a picture of the bill, the inside of the sweatband, and any tags and the inside of the hat, and whoops, wham, bam, thank you, we're done. Now, I wouldn't leave that head in there if I was doing this, but here's a video game setup. So I would take a picture here with everything that's included, including inserts if they were there, the back of the case, the manual by itself, showing the condition, the disc, and then the back of the disc. And there you go. Easy peasy, nice and easy. Card games like this, or I'll lay it flat and take a picture. And then I actually will hold it in my hand to give really good pictures. The board, focus, come on, focus. And then any sides, top, looking for writing or anything like that. And then on these old cartridge games, there's a little number on them. And to show that it's authentic, if I can get this thing to focus, I'll show that because people want to know if it's authentic or not. And that's one of the indicators, other than taking it apart and showing the actual information on the circuit board. And now the item I sold. It is a 1994 in very good condition. I was shocked at how good it was. Power Rangers. Twin, or can't remember if it's twin or full, but it's a bedspread. Okay. No stains on the back or anything. And then it had two pillowcases that were also in really good condition. I washed them, looked them over, made sure there were no staining, and I've got a couple of those. I did see a sheet set recently at a yard sale that matched this, but it wasn't in the greatest of condition, so I didn't pick it up. I was going to add it to the bundle, but anyway, I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully my sales and your sales are better today. Let's go. I got a bunch of listing to do again till I get current. Love you guys.